How to Play Lone Star of Texas, a song I co-wrote with Caleb Davidson, one of my students. It's going to be in the key of E. I have my guitar tuned to standard tuning, so you'll want to do the same. Mostly open chords. The verse consists of 3 chords, hopefully we're all familiar with, but a quick run through. I like to put the first finger here on the first fret of the G string, giving us the G sharp note. Third finger gives us the E on the D string at the 2nd fret. Second finger gives us the B on the A string at the 2nd fret. All the other strings will remain open. Make sure you've got your hands tips only. You don't want to lay your fingers because you get a very rough sound. You want a nice, clean, crisp sound. Second chord we're going to go to is going to be an A chord. Variety of ways to do this, but for the sake of this song, let's take our 2nd finger and bar it on those inside 3 strings on the D, G, and B at the 2nd fret. So that's going to give us those 5 strings in the A chord: E, A, which is the major 3rd. Try to avoid hitting that high string when you're doing this bar. Now if you decide to go with this 3-finger version, you can hit that high E string open. 3-finger version, I would say use your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers respectively on those strings. 3rd chord, comes after we return to the E chord. We're going to go to the B7. So you're going to have your E chord already in position, and keep that 2nd finger right there. That's your anchor finger on the 2nd fret of the A string on the B. You're going to swap the 1st and 3rd fingers through strings, but they're going to stick to their respective frets. So the 1st finger comes up to the 1st fret of the D string, giving us a D sharp. 2nd finger, or 3rd finger, 2nd finger's already where it needs to be. 3rd finger takes the 2nd fret, giving us the A, which is the flat 7 of the B chord. We're going to remain, B string remains open. 4th finger takes care of the F sharp note on the 2nd fret of the high E string. A cool trick when you're using this chord is doing the bass with your 2nd finger. Necessarily apply that to this song. There's no reason why you couldn't. Alright, and then back to the E again. So the verse, we're going to give 4 count for each measure. Now we get to the 3rd measure. The E, we're going to give a 2 count, B7 a 2 count, before returning back to the E for a 4 count, and then repeating the progression again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's once through the verse progression. Maybe repeat that a couple times, depending on where we're at in the song, before going into the chorus. Now, an easier version of the chorus was going to consist of the same chords. Each chord is going to get its own 4-count beat this time, but we're going to start the progression on an A. So it's going to go 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, B7. 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4, E, 2. Now, if we want to spice that up a little bit, we're going to add in some relative minor chords to a couple of them. The relative minor of the A chord is an F sharp minor. Easier way to do that F sharp minor is to not necessarily bar the entire. You're already barring there, previously with our 2nd finger. This time around, let's bar with the 1st finger, and then you can drop these 3 down, 3 and 4th fingers on the 4th fret of the A and D string, or bar all 6, you get the full chord at the F sharp minor. Alright, so you have A, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to the E chord, and the relative minor of the E chord is the C sharp minor. Now it's a little difficult to do in the open position. We're going to come over here to the 4th fret and bar that first finger on the 4th fret. 3rd and 4th fingers, we're going to form what we call a power chord. That's the 6th fret of the D and G strings. And then we're going to add that minor 3rd, which is the E, at the 5th fret of the B string. Our 4th fret of the E string is going to be covered by our bar on that first finger. So from the beginning of that, we've got A, F sharp minor, E, C sharp minor. Now we're going to learn a new version of the B7 chord. Sliding back, this is the B7 bar on the 5th string. At the 2nd fret, bar that first finger, which we had already done on our C sharp, sliding back a whole step. Now we're going to add a 3rd finger to the 4th fret of the D string. We're going to keep this what kind of open. Our first finger is acting as a capo, but we're going to get the 2nd fret with that first finger bar, and then our 4th finger is going to take care of the 4th fret of, and which is also the major 3rd of the B chord. If we had our first finger down, that would be a minor, but for this song, we need that major 3rd, which is a D sharp. We got our F sharp with our first finger bar. So starting back at the beginning of that progression, A, F sharp minor, E, C sharp minor, B7. Now we end on the E. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the chorus progression. Now just add a little something else to the song. We threw in a bridge. D major chord, which is outside of our key here. So it changes the feel a little. That's going to be an open D string. You can even use your open A. First finger, 2nd fret of G string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the E string. So that gives us our D, A on the 2nd fret of the G string, D on the 3rd fret of the B string, F sharp. These are going to be quick change chords like. Back into it. So let's run through the progression one time through.